Hey folks, my name is Dale Davidson and it's a great day to have a great day. Hope you're having a great day. People call me the VA guy, so thank you for tuning in today. If you like what we're doing here, please hit that like and subscribe button, and also hit that notification bell because you'll be updated on when we have new videos. Our object here is to help you and to encourage you to pursue your benefits with vigor. And if you need any help, have any topics you want to hear about, leave me a comment below or send me an email at dearvaguy@gmail.com. So, the topic today is how to maximize your disability claim. Okay? Now, we all know that the VA doesn't share with you or point to anything regarding filing a successful claim, despite their legal obligation to assist you in your claim under the Veterans Claims Assistance Act of 2000. I mean, you might get a little bit of help here and there, but they're not going to help you and guide you the way they should. Okay, that's the intent for this act was to get you your benefits, the maximum benefit possible, but that's just not their goal. Okay, so we're going to discuss two specific things that you've got to know about for you to get the rating that you deserve. Okay, the first is you got to know the schedule rating for your disability or injury. Okay, now the VA, you can Google this, the VA has a schedule of ratings for each disability or injury. Okay, you can look that up, study it. Okay, there's a lot to know in those different ratings, and we'll go over those in just a few minutes. Now, the second thing you got to know is and pay particular attention to your disability benefit questions, or your DBQ. Okay, now there's almost one DBQ for every kind of injury. I mean, I saw one on plantar fasciitis the other day. So look, make sure that you pay particular attention to that with respect to the DBQ and all the questions contained in there. So your schedule rating and your DBQ go together. They can't be separated. You can't have one without the other. Don't submit your claim without knowing where your injury falls on the rating schedule, and don't submit your claim without a DBQ. Now, if you follow the VA rating schedule and your physicians probably fill out your DBQ, you're almost assured a successful claims process. Almost. Okay? There's nothing guaranteed. The only thing guaranteed is you're living right now, you're paying taxes, and one day you're going to die. So those are the only three guarantees we got right now. The VA is not going to guarantee you anything. So let's go from the initial claim. So initially your claim you'll need to establish a nexus between your military service and your claimed disability or your injury. If you can't establish a connection, then you don't have a recognizable claim. Or you may, but it's going to be very, very difficult. You can't just state that, well, I was in the military and this caused my disability injury. Okay? Here, in the land of DIC claims, you're guilty until you prove innocence. In other words, you must first show that to the VA, you must show the VA that your condition, your injury, your disability manifested itself or arose somehow, is connected to your time for service. Now, it's easy if you had a broken leg and you were treated in the service, or you were treated in the service for any number of things. Okay, and it's in your medical records. That's an easy thing to prove. Harder to prove are things like PTSD, Agent Orange, Camp Lejeune claims, things that manifest itself that you incurred during your service, but that came to light years later. So I have a client who went through the military entrance processing MEPS. Everybody goes through MEPS, okay? So the military poked and prodded him, making sure he was fit for military service. Now, realize that they want to make sure that you can do your job in the face of adversity. I mean, if you're going to be, carrying a gun, they don't want to make sure you're flat-footed, okay? So if you have a condition that would prohibit you from being fit and ready, they're not going to accept you, okay? For instance, a young man who desperately wanted to serve but had a blood disorder called ITP, and that would have severely impacted his ability to serve, so they denied him admission. Look back to my client we're talking about now. So he got checked everywhere, places he didn't want to get checked, making sure that he didn't have any issues. Now, maybe sometimes you might have an issue, you get a waiver because you're physically fit. That's what happened in this case. So I'm helping this young man who had a chest condition that was surgically repaired when he was 5-6 years old, okay? So he had a scar on his chest, and the military flagged him with restrictive lung disease, okay? Or they call it PECS. Okay, now MEPS flagged him, and he underwent additional testing, and he was declared physically fit and admitted into the military. They noted his restrictive lung disease as a pre-existing injury, but assigned a 0% disability rating. Well, guess what? His condition worsened during his service because of, guess what, burn pits. And after he got out, he was denied benefits because of his pre-existing condition. What the VA failed to do in this instance was acknowledge that his condition worsened, and even said in his discharge paperwork that it had not progressively gotten worse. So unfortunately for the VA, and fortunately for us and my client, this was an opinion of a commanding officer, not a medical professional, okay? Not supported by any kind of medical evidence. And so we were successful, but we'll talk more about that claim in just a few minutes. So let's get backtrack on schedule ratings and DBQ. So you know your diagnosis, and that's important, but you don't know your rating. Sometimes there are numerous potential ratings within one diagnosis. Don't you think you should know where you fall on the rating schedule? You should know all of your diagnosis within your potential rating, including any secondary causes, okay? So think of the schedule rating of the VA as a roadmap for determining your rating based upon your DBQ. The DBQ is just a summary of your diagnosis that the VA uses to kind of determine where your disability fits within their schedule of ratings. So it's important for you to know your diagnosis because that's where you're going to fit within the rating schedule. But why? The condition described in your BDQ have the potential of impacting your rating. And let me bring back my client who has had the chest issues, the restrictive lung disease. So the diagnosis for restrictive lung disease, okay, in the VA rating schedule is a diagnostic code 6840 through 6845. Big deal, okay. Within that, it's got different levels. So, for instance, if your lung capacity is less than 40%, you'd be at 100% disabled. If your lung capacity is between 40 and 55%, okay, then you're at a 60% disability. If it's at a 56% and above, 56 to 70%, you're at a 30%. See how that goes? But within all of these different percentages, you've got different diagnoses, such as cardiac or respiratory limitations, heart failures. You've got pulmonary hypertension. You've got all of those things. So see if you can find out where you are in that rating. If you've got that diagnosis, you know where you fall in that rating, then when you're talking to your doctor about your DBQ, then you can make sure that, yeah, doc, don't forget to show them that I've got pulmonary hypertension. Pulmonary hypertension is high blood pressure affecting the lungs, okay? But with lung disease, and you have some kind of restrictive lung disease, certainly you're going to have some kind of heart issue, okay? So it's very important, know where you are in that rating, and then talk to your doctor and make sure that when you're going through the different questions on that DBQ, that you're talking to him about all of these different things that affect you. So in my client's example, his condition was also affected his heart, okay, cardiac limitations, and pulmonary hypertension, okay? So you can see in my example, real life example, by the way, how important it is to know where your rating should be. You might not know with 100% certain where it is, but you should know kind of where it ought to be, okay? In this case, my client's case, his lung capacity was less than 40%, so he should have been rated at 100%. In other cases, there are other signs and symptoms, and any of those that you may be looking for, and so you can't think of everything. But I will tell you that it's your job to inform your doctor, inform the CMP examiner of your conditions or signs or symptoms in order to be successful. Look, this is not the time to be tough and, hey, I'm going to rub some sand on it, on my injury, and I'll be okay. Or, I don't really want to tell them about that. That's kind of personal. Okay? Now, this is the time to be truthful and honest to your doctors and to the CMP examiner. Okay? Tell them everything, and I mean everything, from your big toe hurting to the top of your head. If it hurts, tell them. If you have a rash, tell them. If you have performance issues, tell them. Don't be embarrassed, okay? Because we're trying to get you the rating you need based upon your disability. Don't be embarrassed. Be upfront, truthful, and honest. Tell them everything that you may be experiencing. Honesty is the best policy with these doctors, okay? Hey folks, thanks for tuning in today. Hey, if you like what we are doing here, if you learned something today, especially regarding the ratings, knowing your ratings and your DBQs, please hit that like and subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you can be updated when we have other videos coming out. You know, tell your friends, family, share these videos with people, your Army buddies, your military buddies, wherever you served. Just let them know. We're glad to help. So if you need help with your DIC claim or have any topics you want me to discuss, leave me a comment below or send me an email to dearvaguy@gmail.com. So to all of you veterans, thank you for your service. To the spouses of veterans, thank you for keeping the home fires burning. For those currently serving our country out there right now today and their spouses or partners, a big thank you for protecting us and our way of life. Because without you, no telling what kind of foreign language we'd be speaking right now. So today, I want each of you to go out, in today's messed up world, because it's messed up. Be confident with your head held high. Put a smile on your face and go out and make a difference in somebody's life. So until next time, be blessed.
No more whiskey, I'll have a Coke. Catching bass on an old fishing boat. One more story from Grandpa Joe.